Hello, dear aspirants. I'm back with the practice session. So, we will be discussing few important questions which will be helpful for the TS and AP Lawcet examination. So, right now, let's just move on to the first question. Who among the following is known as the father of microfinance? The right answer is C. Muhammad Yunus. So, he is a Bengali social entrepreneur, banker, and economist. He also was awarded with the Nobel Peace Prize for founding the Grameen Bank and pioneering the concepts of microcredit and microfinance. So, guys, basically, this concept of microfinance it first came into existence in 1970s, to be sure, around 1974, and the credit goes to the Self-Employed Women's Association, which was established in Gujarat for bringing the microfinance into popularity. Right? Remember, SEWA, Self-Employed Women's Association, SEWA. Right? Next, move on to the let's move on to the next question, guys. As per the current provisions of the RBI Act 1934, what is the highest denomination of notes the RBI can issue? The right answer is D, that is 10,000 rupee note. Right? So RBI can issue any note of any denomination but not exceeding 10,000. Right? You can also refer to section 24, guys. Right? Let me write here. Section 24 of the RBI Act, which also provides for the maximum denomination of a note that can be 10,000. Right? And also the notes denomination is notified by the government, and also RBI acts accordingly to that. And section 22 of the RBI Act also provides which gives the sole right to issue gives the RBI the sole rights to issue the currency notes of various denominations. Right? Let's move on to the next question, guys. Third question. India is suffering from a menace of transfer pricing. So what is transfer pricing? It is a method of tax dodging by illicit capital flows outside the country. It is a factor responsible for continuous price rise of food items in India. It is a new phenomenon that emerged responsible for the bad loans of Indian banks. It is a global phenomenon responsible for devaluation of Indian currency in comparison to reserve currencies. The right answer is option A, that is, it is a method of tax dodging by illicit capital flows outside the country. So tax dodging, you can also say that it's a tax evasion, right? So basically, it is basically about commercial transactions between different parts of the uh, a company or a group, multinational groups, uh, where one party transfers to another the goods and services for a particular price, right? And this price is known as transfer price, right? So basically it is done for tax dodging or tax evasion, you can say. Like for example, if a subsidiary company sells goods or renders any services to its parent company or a holding company or a sister company, the price charged is referred to as a transfer company. Let's say if there is a company X, right, and company Y. Company X is located in a high tax country, a country in where high taxes are collected, and Y is located in a low tax country, right? So basically, entity X transfers these goods or renders services from Y, or Y can do the same, right? So it depends on the tax, right? To avoid tax with the use of this transfer pricing provisions, right? It is one of the menace, that is why it is one of the menace that India is suffering, that is called as transfer pricing, right? So it is a method of tax dodging by illicit capital flows outside the country, right? Let's say which is located in let's say transferring any goods or services in any countries with uh, countries that I mean in any companies where it is located in a low tax regime, right? Now let us move on to the next question. What is viticulture related to? Right, the answer is D, guys. That is growing of grapes. So basically viticulture or wine growing, you can say, it is a cultivation, harvesting of grapes, right? So there is this thing called wine vineyards. Remember, let me write it. So vineyards, so basically they are located in Nasik, Himachal Pradesh, Bangalore also. Like they are basically areas of land where grapes are grown, right? And the practice and the study of this vineyard production is called as viticulture, right? Viticulture. Now when it comes to apiculture, that is related to honeybees. Apiculture or beekeeping is the management and caring of honeybees, right, for the production of honey and wax, right? Remember, that is apiculture. Let me write it. That is apiculture, right? Now let us move on to the next question. The collaboration of government and private sector to build infrastructure is called as which of the following? Public private partnership, private public partnership, public private cooperation partnership, and none of the above, right? The right answer is option A, that is public private partnership, right? So basically this collaboration, or this is a long term, you can say a contract, an arrangement, right, between the government and private sector to build infrastructure is called as public private partnership, right? Public private partnership, remember this, not private public or public corporation partnership, right? So because I'll come to the confusing part at a later point of time. So basically it is a funding model where the public infrastructure projects and other initiatives, it could be like public transportation system, or it could be like taking up airports or any power plants, telecommunications by the private entities, right? So basically you might get confused. కొన్ని సార్లు ఎగ్జామ్స్లో ఏమైపోతుంది అంటే సేమ్ మనకి ఇలానే చూసినట్టు పీపీపీ మోడల్ మనం విన్నట్టుంది, చదివినట్టు ఉంటుంది, బట్ మనకి అబ్రివేషన్స్లో ఒకసారి వర్డ్స్ అనేది ఇటు ఇటు కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ అయిపోతుంది. సో రిమెంబర్ దాట్ యూ ఆర్ thorough with these abbreviations which come into the current affairs oftentimes, right? Remember this. Next, which among the following country is not a part of TAPI pipeline? Right? The right answer is Tajikistan. Tajikistan. So basically, TAPI, it stands for Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India. So you have to see here, all the countries are already located in other option, are already there in other options, except Turkmenistan, right? So Pakistan, India, and Afghanistan is there. So Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India forms the TAPI pipeline. So basically, pipeline. So basically, this MOU was signed. The Memorandum of Understanding was signed in 1995. 1995, and the agreement was also signed in 2008. So remember this, 2008, for this establishment of this pipeline, right? So this pipeline is also known as Trans-Afghanistan pipeline, right? So it is basically a natural gas pipeline. Let's say if there is a question, what is TAPI pipeline, right? There could be various other options, right? It is a water pipeline, it is a what kind of pipeline it is. So the right answer will be natural gas pipeline, right? Remember this, guys, natural gas. Natural gas. So basically this pipeline is also called as peace pipeline, right? Remember this, peace pipeline. Peace pipeline, right? So it is a 1814 kilometer natural gas pipeline that originates from Turkmenistan and passes through Afghanistan, Pakistan to reach India, right? This is a very, very important point. Now let us move on to the next question, guys. The seventh question, right? In which year the minimum support price for food grains was introduced? The right answer is C. The right answer is C. So minimum support price, you might have heard about MSP, right? Abbreviation, that is minimum support price, right? It was first introduced in around 1966 to 1967. So this was basically done after India faced a major deficit in cereal production at the time of independence, and the government announced this minimum support price for 25 major, remember this, 25 major agriculture commodities, like each year in both the crop seasons, after taking into account the recommendations of CACP. CACP 25 crops. CACP, what is CACP? Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. Right. Next question. What is meant by green banking? The right answer is B. That is financing of environmentally friendly projects by the banks. So basically what happens is that, so this is also called as, let's say, a sustainable bank or an ethical bank. So these are like just normal commercial banks. Like these banks are normal, which considers all the social and also ecological factors, environmental factors, with an aim to protect the environment and also conserve the natural resources, right? So basically they are controlled by the same authorities, but with an agenda towards taking care of earth's habitats and other resources, right? So financing these environmental friendly projects by the banks is called as green banking, right? It is why it's named as green banking, which refers to environment, right? Let's move on to the next question. National income estimates in India are prepared by, the right answer is option C, that is Central Statistical Organization, right? So this national income is estimated by the Central Statistical Organization, which works under the Ministry of Statistics and Program. Ministry of, let me write this, Statistics, Ministry of Statistics and Program, right? So basically, implementation and also carries out statistical activities in India. So including national income accounting, economic census, and other etc. Now, Dadabhai Nauroji was the first Indian to estimate this national income of the country, right? So this question might also, you might expect, like in examination they could ask like who among the following estimated the first national income in India. So the right answer will be Dadabhai Nauroji, right? And a first rough estimate of national income was, as I said, the question might also be a first rough estimate of national income was done by which of the following individuals, right? Which of the following? The answer will be Dadabhai Nauroji, right? Is very, very important. And the first, you might also want to remember, the first scientific estimate of the national income was made by Professor VKRV, Vijayendra Kasturi Ranga Varadara Raja Rao. I will write it, VKRV VKRV Rao, in around 1931 and 32, right? So this was the first scientific estimate which was made by VKRV Rao, right? Next, what is a situation called in which many firms produce similar goods, right? Similar goods. Perfect competition, monopolistic competition, pure competition, or oligopoly? What is the answer? The right answer is option A, that is perfect competition. So in economic theory, perfect competition occurs when all the companies, let's say different entities, they sell identical same products in a market, right? They sell same products in a market, and there are also like several other farmers, you can say other entities that sell the same products in the market. uh, that is why it is called as perfect competition, right? Whereas in monopolistic competition, in a monopoly, so many firms, like they compete with each other, like there is a one dominant company and it wants to exert control over the market, right? So let's say, for example, soft drinks, you can say, let's say Coca-Cola or Thumbs Up, Coca-Cola, like it's a brand. and various other soft drinks come under it, right? Like Thumbs Up, could be Sprite, etc. Right? So there is a one monopoly, one dominant company that wants to exert control over the market. So this is monopolistic competition. Whereas perfect competition and pure competition are similar. So it is where there is, market structure where there are a large number of competitors are there, but they are selling similar products, right? Same or homogeneous similar products. Where it comes to oligopoly, right? When it comes to oligopoly, so oligo means few and polyn means sell, right? So means this is a competition among the few, you have to remember, right? So oligopolies exist when there are, like, let's say 10 to 10 sellers in the market selling homogeneous or differentiated products, right? So again, as I said, cool drinks or automobiles, like cement, steel, so these could be the example. So there are few firms, right, for each particular product, right? There is monopoly, as I said, one dominant company, and there is also duopoly, right? So there are two companies, right, or two entities that you have to remember, right? Chalo, let's move on to the next question. So which of the following is not the place of printing of notes in India? So I remember this question was asked in one of the previous year question papers, right? The right answer is option C, that is Jhansi. So there are currently four printing presses in India where the currently notes are printed, right? One in Madhya Pradesh, that is Devas. Let me write it. Devas. Nasik, Mysore, Salboni, right? So these are the four printing presses actively that are there at present. So Devas located in Madhya Pradesh, Nasik in Maharashtra, Mysore in Karnataka, and Salboni in West Bengal. Further, there are also four mints where coins are minted, right? Four mints. You have to remember four mints where coins are minted. This is for the printing of notes. So what are the four places where the four places where the coins are minted is Kolkata, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Noida. Remember this: Kolkata, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Noida. And Noida. Right. Let's move on to the next question, guys. When was the Agricultural Cost and Commission established? The right answer is option B, that is 1965. So the Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices, that is CICP, as I said earlier, right? It is the same as It is the same, that is the current name for the Agricultural Cost and Commission in India, right? So this is an attached office under the Ministry of Agricultural Farmers Welfare, Government of India, and it came into existence in 1965. Right, so this is an expert body that recommends minimum support prices by taking into consideration the various factors, right? As I said earlier, right? So the earlier name was Agricultural Cost and Commission, and now it is made as CACP, that is Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices, right? So both are same, so you will have to write the same answer, that is 1965. Next, the largest mineral oil field of India is which of the following? The right answer is D, that is Bombay upland area, or you can just or the option could be just Bombay High. Bombay High, right? So it is situated about 161 kilometers north of Bombay coast, uh, Maharashtra. So it is an offshore field, guys, and it produces nearly 38% of our domestic production. And the world's largest oil field. Now this is in India, right? And the world's largest oil field is located in Saudi Arabia, which is known as Ghawar Field, right? Remember that. And Digboy is the first oil well in India, right? Let me write this. Digboy, which is located in Assam. Digboy, which is located in Assam, was the first oil well in India, right? So it is as old as 18th century. That was earlier as 18th century when the first when oil was first discovered there, right? Let's move to the next question. Green Revolution was launched in which 5-year plan? The right option is option A, that is third 5-year plan, right? So in the year 1965, guys, remember the year 1965. So in the year 1965, the government of India launched the Green Revolution with the help of the father of Green Revolution. Who is he? He is MS Swaminathan, right? And third 5-year plan was between 1961 to 66. So you have to remember this. So it coincides with the third 5-year plan. And majorly the third 5-year plan stressed on agriculture and also improvement of production of wheat, right? Let's move to the next question, guys. The National Insurance Awareness Day was observed on which date? The right answer is C, that is 28th June. So this day is observed on 28th June on an annual basis. The day seeks to make people aware of the several benefits of investing in an insurance policy or plan with regard to this. So అందుకే పేరు National Insurance Awareness Day. Next question. Which of the following committee is not associated to the estimation of poverty in India? The right answer is option D, that is Vijay Kelkar committee. Guys, when it comes to the question of committees, you have to remember various committees. So there will be a list of committees, right, which you have to remember, like what committee, what report is related to which of the following, right? So the committees question in India is a chala important question. So you have to remember what committees, what it is related to, in which year it was formed, etc., right? So the right answer for this question would be Vijay Kelkar committee, right? So this committee was formed. Uh, so see, the question we have to properly read is not associated. Which of the following committee is not associated to the estimation of poverty? That means all these three committees above, that is Alag committee, Suresh Tendulkar committee, Rangarajan committee, they are associated with the estimation of poverty in India, right? So the right answer for this question is Vijay Kelkar committee, which is not associated to poverty of India, estimation of poverty. So this committee was formed in India to study the and evaluate the extent of PPP, that is public private partnership. In the question, as I earlier mentioned, right, which is an arrangement, infrastructure arrangement, building arrangement between the government and private entities, right? So this committee is related to the evaluation, the study of extent of public private partnership model in India, right? It was set up by India's central government. It was headed by Vijay Kelkar. And before independence, the National Planning Committee and Bombay Plan, it suggested poverty line, that is below poverty line, BPL, you might remember. And there are various, after independence, there were various committees that were formed. Like there is VK Alag committee, was formed in 1979. So there is Ladwala committee, another committee which was formed in 1993. There is Tendulkar committee, Suresh Tendulkar committee in 2005. Remember this, guys. And C Rangarajan committee in 2013, right? So these committees, they suggested the poverty line for the poverty estimation in India, 2013, right? So Kelkar committee is not related to the estimation of poverty in India. And there was VM Dandekar and N. Rath in 1979 made the first systematic assessment of poverty in India based on national sample survey data, right? The question could be, so who among the following made the first systematic assessment of poverty in India? The right answer would be VM Dandekar. Let me write VM Dandekar and N. Rath, 1971. Right. Next question, guys. What was the main focus of India's first 5-year plan? Right, guys, with regard to the questions when it comes to Indian economy, so try to try to focus on all the 5-year plans, the date, the period, and also what it is, what was the main focus of each 5-year plan. Right, it's very very important. So the right answer for this question would be option D, that is development of primary sector with focus on agriculture. Right, so the main focus of this first 5-year plan was agriculture development, because India was primarily agricultural country at the time of independence, and this it was launched in 1951, that 1951, where it was at that time uh, the president was Jawaharlal Nehru and Gulzari Lal Nanda was the vice president, and it mainly focused on the primary sector, that is agriculture. Right, 1951. Remember. Next question, guys. Which of the following is called the father of white revolution? Which of the following individuals, personalities, is called as the father of white revolution in India? Very important question. The right answer would be option B, that is Dr. Verghese Kurian. So in 1970, so India set in motion with the white revolution. What is this white revolution? So this is world's biggest dairy development program, right? That is milk. It was led by Verghese Kurian. So Operation Flood. Also remember, guys, what is Operation Flood related to? So this question might also be coming in the examination. Operation Flood. Right? Operation Flood. So it is also related to the milk production. Operation Flood. Right. So Operation Flood, it is also known as it transformed the dairy deficient nation into a global leader in milk production. Right. Operation Flood. Remember, related to milk production. So the White Revolution, it started in Gujarat, and Verghese Kurian, Verghese Kurian also, majorly developed the Amul, right? You might have heard Amul, right? That is Anand Milk Union Limited, which is India's leading milk production, right? So basically, this organization was founded in 1946 by Tribhuwan Das Kishibhai Patel, right? And later on, Verghese Kurian was hired, and he majorly developed the marketing strategies for Amul. And later on, as you know, Kurian was also given the title of the Milkman of India, because he created milk powder using buffalo milk when the world was still using milk. Right. So for his contribution in the dairy industry in India, he was also awarded various awards, and that is why he's known as the father of white revolution. Right. Chalo, next question, guys. So this will be the last two questions, guys. National Clean Air Program launched in India in which of the following year? The right answer would be option B, that is 2019. Right. So in January 2019, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Remember this, guys. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change launched this National Clean Air Program, NCAP. Also remember the abbreviation, guys. NCAP. Right? Ila ochina kuda meer confuse avaddu. Right? NCAP, that is National Clean Air Program. So basically to prepare clean air action plans. Clean air action plans. So the goal of NCAP was, to reduce the particulate matter to for about 20 to 30%. So basically, in majority of the cities in the states, to prepare better clean air action plans, చేయడానికి ఈ నేషనల్ క్లీన్ ఎయిర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ అనేది లాంచ్ చేశారు. రైట్. నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్, యూ హ్యావ్ టు రిమెంబర్ అండర్ విచ్ మినిస్ట్రీ, దట్ ఈస్ మినిస్ట్రీ of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Right, it was launched in 2019. Last question, guys. In which year Foreign Exchange Management Act, FEMA, came into effect? The right answer would be option A. Right. So basically, what is FEMA? Foreign Exchange Management Act. So basically, it is a set of regulations which empower the RBI. Okay, which empowers RBI Reserve Bank of India to pass regulations. It also enables the government of India to pass rules relating to foreign exchange in tune with the foreign trade policy of India, RBA. Right. So basically, this act came into it came into force by an act of Parliament and was enacted in 1999. And the central government of India formulated this act, basically encourage the external payments and across the border trades in India. That is why it is known as Foreign Exchange Management Act. And it was introduced in year 1999, and it also replaced an earlier act called FERA. Guys, remember this. The question could also be like this, right? So the FEMA is replaced by which of the following acts? Let me write it. FERA. FERA, that is Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, right? So FERA was an act of the Parliament, also introduced. It was introduced in 1973, but with an intent